Hi, hello, greetings, welcome to the Neurotypeline, the show which went on hiatus for an entire year just so I could come up with new intro bits, and this is what you're getting. For when throughout eternity has anyone ever gotten tired of lazy, irreverent, self-deprecating meta-humor? Ha. Know what else no one has gotten tired of? Neurotyping. Joining me today to discuss that are Urcoy.
Hi. I'm the guy. The real guy. Wow, I've really put on the spot again. It's been too long. This is bad.
You're cutting this together, just say your bit again. Okay, a tabak.
Hi, I'm everybody's favorite leftist cultist wizard, question mark.
That's a new one.
I've been accused of many things, and most of them are true.
Okay.
Tolgi.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Kinda.
And special guest, Chloe.
Hello.
And I'm Oro, whose regressed from publishing a novella to spending all day writing Homestuck fanfic. If I disrespect the arrow of time anymore, I might just kill entropy, so watch out for that.
Damn, all three toplets fucking it up.
What? I'm the guest. You gotta introduce me.
Now we're fucking it up. We've literally never done that.
Yes, you did.
Always just say the name of the guest and they introduce themselves. No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you did. I fucking listened
Okay.
back to it.
Could we revive a dead meme and call you the Chloe Collective?
Yes, perfect.
Collective. No, that's not right.
Alright.
No relation to the Livu Collective.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I record this in OBS on top of Audacity, I have the pressing desire to double-click on this image that has been saved to my desktop.
Oh yeah?
This incriminating image.
What image is that?
Oh my god.
My midriff.
Will you ever find out? It's not clear, but I have it highlighted so that I need only hit enter to call up the
Yeah,
eldritch.
you know. Yeah, right.
I see.
As we all know, good trigger discipline is having your finger on the trigger at all times.
Gun safety. Step one.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the name of trigger discipline, which I actually do in real life take very seriously, I did click off of it
That's
after
good.
making that joke.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Since you messed it up, let me introduce myself, I guess. So, I'm Chloe. I'm plural. So, me and so specifically, I have DID, dissociative identity disorder. So, a couple of just specifically one, Lucy was like very active back in the day. At the start of neurotyping, was like not doing a lot of our own theory work, but we compiled the master list that the wiki on the Reddit is based on, and that I think you guys also used kind of to kick off this thing. And so, yeah, I left for 2 years for let's call it a mental health break. And now I'm back and doing stuff again.
Mm-hmm. Been doing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, insanely prolific. But we're glad to have you back. Yeah, we probably would not have be doing an episode again if it weren't for Chloe's nagging.
Take notes, fellas and ladies. Nagging always works. Do it as much as possible.
Yeah, we can be bullied into doing anything, especially if you have compromising material on us. Don't
start.
Dude, I have given you so much compromising material today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What? You did it in voice chat. How the hell am I gonna prove it? We didn't record that.
You could have.
Yeah, well, somebody did.
I didn't.
The government did, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, then the government's gonna come after you.
Unlikely. Everything that I said is aligned with our goals.
Dear listener, do not always record voice calls. That's really impolite, and you shouldn't do it to people.
Yeah.
Unless you actually think they're going to do something super incriminating.
Yeah.
Which I'm obviously always doing. I'm just always incriminating myself left and right.
I mean, you say that as a joke, but you do.
Yeah. I think if someone wanted to get you in, the published episodes of the Neurotyping are probably enough for that.
We're not making it difficult.
What a way to go the first 10 minutes without like discussing anything. Great.
Well done.
Hey, sometimes when you're away from a podcast for a really long time, you miss your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes for the viewers as well. We can never hear anything that you say unless you come on the show, but we missed you. We missed your accepting silence.
Your ardent support.
The arch support, yeah.
Art support.
And we don't read your comments.
You're right.
The comments.
I used to. I would again
Damn.
if I paid that.
We get like 5 comments. Okay.
Yeah, but over what time span is what I'm saying. Like, if we get a comment
Eons.
over a month after when the video comes out, I'm not going to see that because I don't ever sign into the Neurotypeline channel.
Yeah, that's fair.
I only do that if I have to like update my shit in the description or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, I forgot. It didn't occur to me I could do that. Just fix problems.
You have consistently had this power for quite a while.
Not that long. Not as long as you, probably.
Well, I read comments and mostly I reply to them.
All right. I have to kick off a tradition. You hear that?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I also got one.
I could get one, but I'm lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, cracked it directly into the microphone.
over the entire keyboard.
Oh man, I love that sound.
Yeah?
Like I love Vic and Hope, which this bit is a reference to. Please watch Vic and Hope. All right.
Can you hear that sound? That beautiful sound. Okay.
Do you know what that sound is,
introducing-
Highness?
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Good. I won't. Introducing the Neurocube by Chloe.
Yes.
Hey, it's a cube.
Yes.
This was...
Pictured is a Rubik's Cube with 3 axes: linear, lateral, internal, external, and impressionistic categorical. Categorical.
Yeah,
Categorical.
what if the neurochart, but 3?
Yes.
Yes.
In 3D.
It's more powerful.
What if you had to solve it? What if it was shuffled? What if you just did it wrong?
Okay, that'd be a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah. And then image 2, it's sliced up into 3
Planes.
3x3s.
A 3x3x3.
With all different names on them, going from more external to more internal.
In the external plane, starting at the top left and working to the right.
Are you gonna go through all of them? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how we go.
Yeah, this is an audio-only experience for most people, surely.
Fair.
I mean, I do edit the images, but I'm perfectly aware that no one looks at them.
If you care very deeply, the image is on screen.
I didn't look at the images for the most part either, so yeah. Fair.
Now not reading them all out. I'm just like going through and looking at the different ones, and I really like that schizo is like an entire neurotype.
No, we do need to read them out, Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
Read them out.
External
Okay.
plane. Reading left to right, top to bottom. Detective, strategist, noveltician.
By the way, you should
Engineer.
maybe say what like the axes are.
No, I said what I'm
It's
doing.
the normal
It's-
neurochart, except it's a 3x3
Yeah.
instead.
It's
It's the normal neuro. They know. By now they know. Dear listener, if you don't know, I'm sorry I can't.
It's the chart 3 times.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But it's a 3x3.
Yeah, we already said it was 3x3. No, we're presupposing a minimum amount of intelligence from you, a valued audience, who we don't think are idiots. Therefore, keep up.
But I stand with you if you already forgot.
Detective, strategist, noveltician, engineer, externalist, aesthetician, enforcer, clear-sighted, instinctual. Next plane, so middle between external and internal. Computer, fixated, esoteric, pragmatist, understanding, impressionist, audit, reasonable, sensate. And internal plane, rationalist, analyst, schizo, contemplative, internalist, meditative, bookkeeper, level-headed, absorber.
Yeah.
There you go. You fuck.
I do like the reflavoring of the bottom row middle column based on like just taking the best names from the other things where like the name by itself doesn't tell you where it is. It seems like the names in this Neurocube sort of track a little better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and Chloe like spent like an evening just hashing these out. We kind of just mixed around ones names that we already had for the most part, and then put in a few new ones.
Noveltician and schizo.
I really like Noveltician. Noveltician is a very me name.
I came up with that as an alternative name for new types. Quite a long time ago, actually, but yeah.
It's not only an Ouroborista portmanteau, but it plays into my whole novelty is inherently good mantra. So that's nice.
I also really like the flavoring of the bottom left most piece of starting at internal and ending at external. You get bookkeeper, then ordered, then enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go from like bookkeepers to police.
A cab.
They go from keeping books to burning them.
All quadrants are bastards.
I kept up with a few. Yeah.
So what we've learned once again is that new type is good and bookkeeper is bad, is what I'm hearing.
I like how the internal new type is an ableist slur that like really appeals to me.
I am psychotic. I'm allowed to use it.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea, guys.
I have psychotic friends.
I spent a fucking year in psychiatric care. I'm allowed to say that.
But woe betide your friends who try to join you.
Welcome to the Neurotypeline, imminently cancelable as always.
Yeah.
But I also really like Absorber.
Oh yeah.
For PI
I
corner.
think I came up with that one.
That's good for. Remember the culture cycle theory? It plays nicely into that.
Yeah, that was Urcoy's suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Just all the stuff.
You know, like a sponge. You can get all those sweet cultural juices.
No, he's a new type.
Sponge and a cube.
I claim him as representation.
Bob even.
Bob?
Sponge Bob.
Yeah.
You know, the sponged Bob.
SpongeBob is more of an instinctual type, I think. He's very not an internal.
Yeah, he's definitely very external.
Are you saying SpongeBob the SquarePants?
My god.
SpongeBob is a pure instinct with aspirations to become a bookkeeper.
Yeah, because he's square, you know.
I don't see that, but sure.
Well, look at the people that he holds up in high regard. People like Squidward and Mrs. Puff and fucking Mr. Krabs, you know. The people that he values very highly as models of society.
He feels like he holds everyone in high regard. That feels indiscriminate.
Yeah.
He doesn't look up to Plankton.
Okay, he has a naive, perhaps childish outlook on authority. Is that fair?
Okay. No. Okay. But it is also well documented that I, a new type, least like fascinators out of all the types. So that tracks, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this now, I'm wondering why we put I feel like fixated and analyst should be switched.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially fixated next to schizo.
Next to rationalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I know what you're going for with fixated, but it also invokes in my mind like the image of the corkboard, of literally like affixing thoughts, connecting a red string.
Oh.
Nice little.
Yeah.
Definitely internal then.
What?
Yes.
No. The red string is an externalization.
I mean, but they don't go outside.
That's not what defines internality or externality.
No.
We will come back to this.
Yeah. I forgot we put internalist in the middle
Yes.
of the internal square.
Oh. And also external.
I remember that being a joke on the Neurocord, which I am now the owner of, by the way.
Yeah, there was a takeover. There was a coup.
You should
And we won.
change some things. You should give me admin powers so I can.
I'm worried.
You should, put me in charge of the military. As a joke.
I can be trusted with the Neurotype Discord.
I will only improve things. I promise.
Yeah, there are really good things that I will put those emergency powers to. Yeah.
Immediately emergency powers.
Also, what we can do, we can test the listeners' like hearing abilities, like what goes into the categorical linear external corner.
It's like a kids show for neurotyping.
Yeah, by the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Surely the listener has remembered, right?
Yeah, 3 stars, you win. Remember game.
Yeah.
I would absolutely not be able to follow this without the rules.
Yeah. Well, that's why this is secretly not an actual podcast and is actually just video.
I mean, you can just tab over if you really don't know something.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
screen.
This
You can trust me.
this is a podcast with slides. The slides are part of the experience.
I mean, if you're like driving in a car, it's kind of
If you're
hard.
driving in a car, please consider, is your life truly worth the burden of ignorance? Of not knowing what it says on the screen right now? You will contemplate that question, and then you'll take out your phone, get it out of your pocket. Good God.
Okay, in the spirit of being self-incriminating, I would like to let you all know that I have a magnetic scotch mount on my dashboard, and I frequently put a video that I'm watching on my magnetic dashboard mount with navigation like off in the corner so that I can see my immediate next turn, but mostly so that I can see what's going on in the video that I'm listening to. Just anytime that I look over. It's not any less safe than looking over at your rearview mirror, except it has the added benefit of taking you to the internet instead.
No, it
Right.
it is because you're doing it more because there is now a thing that is non-traffic related that you're looking at from time
It's
to
a
time. Dear listener,
distraction.
please do not kill people in your car. Vehicular manslaughter is really, really bad. And, I hear, illegal. So...
It's only manslaughter if it's unintentional.
I listened to I think it was an old Hello Internet episode recently where they talked about how like apparently having a call with someone or like listening to a podcast while driving is apparently almost as dangerous as drunk driving.
Yeah, it's just as bad.
Yeah.
Well, did you also remember the part where they go into why it's just as dangerous?
Yeah, because it's distracting and it's not like context sensitive.
In particular, there's an unwillingness on the driver's part to just tune out whatever it is that's playing and pay attention to the road and then just back it up a second.
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
like, as soon as I made a big deal about that to my friends and was like, hey, just like, tell me that you didn't hear the last few minutes of what I said because you were paying attention to traffic, and I'll just repeat myself.
Yeah.
The number of friends who got into traffic accidents went way down.
Damn.
Just get your priorities straight. No problem.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That way.
Whatever they may be, just get them straight.
You know, if you get into a car accident because you were reading a book on the highway, which has happened to someone I know, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If you drive down a ravine, tell them the Neurotypeline sent you.
So that's where this leads.
Into a
Sent you
ravine.
Careening off the beaten path.
Very good.
God damn it. Anyway, we haven't actually explained. I mean, it might be obvious on some level.
Yeah,
What even is external internal?
Yeah, I mean, we have talked about external internal on the podcast.
Yeah,
before.
you did.
It's my favorite
but,
theory.
2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
A million fucking years ago.
I mean, at this point...
Should we do this by going over the documents? Like,
What?
the fuck is internal external? And internal and external subcategorizing?
Yeah.
The
PDFs.
things linked in the description.
Basically, all the
that
notes
seems
that
like
I
a
took.
The PDFs I
PDFs.
accidentally
PDFs.
downloaded just now. Oops.
Yeah, those.
He did talk about those. At this point, there are like even multiple schools of thought on what internal and external is. We have successfully created even more divisions, but oh well, that's neurotyping for you.
Call it the neuroschism.
I feel like we've already had a few of those.
Yeah.
Oh
This
yeah,
is the latest one.
We're worse than the church.
With your belief, like by our powers combined, we could be the church. See, I called my shot. I said to everybody, I am a cultist. I'm not actually a cultist. Like, I do feel the need to clarify that I am not a part of a cult.
Okay, I believe you.
Sex cult or otherwise. It's not true.
Okay.
Yet you participate in Neurotypeline.
I'm calling out
Oh my
specifically No Thank You, who has accused me of leading a sex cult.
Nice.
What?
Yeah.
Because I openly talk about the fact that I'm poly.
Oh my god.
It's amazing.
Reason?
So, it's specifically that I openly talk about the fact that I'm poly, and also I literally believe in magic/psychic powers.
Yeah.
It's like
If you keep going around telling people that you just fixed their soul demons, and then maybe entering romantic engagement with them, yes, it's iffy.
Are you volunteering? Because you were the last person who I actually fixed.
Oh my.
Yeah.
No. Did you? Was there another time that I'm forgetting?
This feels like a doctor-patient relationship, and you shouldn't violate that ethical boundary.
As I've told people many times.
I am moderately serious about this.
You are fully allowed to manipulate me because I am better than you at that.
Ayo. I mean, if we want to battle for top, I'm down for that.
No, I'm a power bottom.
Acceptable.
welcome to the sex podcast.
But I swear I'm not actually a cultist.
Okay.
Good.
Good that we cleared that one up.
Yeah.
Sexually harassing your friends for fun and profit.
Oh god. Should I explain what at least I understand internal and external to be?
Sure, yeah.
It's like pretty much the thing you also talked about once upon a time, where it's basically about how you like process information. Where like internal people will like think through their ideas in their head and kind of come up with new things kind of in their own internal experience, and external people plus their ideas by interacting with the world and trying things out, working off of other things, bouncing ideas of people and such things. Whereas internal people, like, they'll, like, figure out everything they need to and then go out and test their ideas and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a dedicated typelet, you will remember those as Twilight and Sunset types.
Yes.
Yep.
from The Pony Show.
Also known as lane types and UE types, or agroseers and whatever the other one was called.
Overseers, it's just aggro.
I think that was an alpha beta type thing going on there.
Okay.
I always knew I was alpha as fuck.
Okay.
Not actually, because alpha is about like subversive dominance rather than, the rightful state of rulership.
Holy shit, you explained your own joke. I thought it was only me.
Can you tell we haven't done this in a while?
Yeah. Remember how we said we needed like bonus posts in case we don't get to the main topic of this video? Yeah, we're not. Welcome to the show that is consistently exactly 90 minutes long and has never been any longer. Don't look at the timestamp.
We'll see how long this goes.
So
what do we...
In working through internal and external, you go over a couple of different ideas about what it is to be internal versus what it is to be external. Would you say that the description that you just gave now, rather than being a summary of the broad strokes, is more like a denser version of the idea that you have arrived at? That it's actually more accurate than just a surface level summary? Or is that actually just the broad strokes? And your real belief is more nuanced than that?
I think he's asking whether you're just summarizing the internal external subcategorizing document or whether you're adding something new.
I should say, I didn't write any of these documents that I linked here.
I didn't know that. I thought they were yours.
I don't remember who did. But no, none of these are mine. I didn't come up with any of this. I'm just the torchbearer.
Oh, this one, yeah, the Google Doc one. That's the one I wrote.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Google Doc is very obviously Koi, I think.
I've never had an original idea in my life.
Oh, I don't remember this one. Maybe I should have reread this.
Who put my name in quotes? What is that?
What? I have weird typing tendencies.
All the names and quotes.
The last read on all of this that comes to mind is from a discussion I was in just last night with user so-called target transplant. His angle was more about
That's probably also part of why I knew it was Koi. I just checked because I thought it was like signed or something, but it's not. I was like, wow, this just reads so much like Koi that I never questioned whether it could be someone else.
Great.
Yeah, I'm still experimenting with my writing style. It still has periods, which is a problem.
You should probably put your name somewhere in there so people know it's you.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay. So, well, I guess the notes that I wrote out here are more of a response to you then.
Okay.
Do you think that external types are more overtly sociable?
Can I answer this?
I won't stop you.
I would say that external types tend to be more extroverted, but it's not a one-to-one link. You can have very introverted external thinkers, or very, very not social external thinkers, or you can have very social internal thinkers. I think that does exist, but there's a tendency towards one.
Yeah, I think there's actually a lot of factors that go into things like introversion and sociability, etc.
Yeah.
Not the least of which being that nobody can agree what they're talking about.
Right. I can imagine somebody who's external but is not very sociable, like they're just kind of there for the information and kind of dip as soon as that's over.
Like somebody who sets up the social equivalent of dominoes and then knocks them over and watches it all play out, but where they don't have to directly interact with anything?
Kind of. Or they're only interacting as far as they're getting something out of it.
Gotcha.
Materially,
Or you might have an external person who just does non-social things via experimenting themselves directly, whereas an internal person might consult sources which might lead them to talk to people more.
Okay.
I actually have a question for you, Tarbuck.
Yes.
Because you consider yourself external, right?
Immensely, yeah.
Okay.
So
in the summary is sort of like, internal people think by themselves, external people, work through things with, either through other people or other stuff. Like, how does this work when you're by yourself?
When I'm by myself, I'm still like working through my thoughts by trying them. My explanations tend to lean more on the learn by doing way of phrasing it. So like, I don't really do any of my woodworking in groups, but I definitely do figure out techniques by, well, that doesn't look so hard, and then I try it, and then I troubleshoot the process while I'm doing it.
Right.
As opposed to like reading a bunch of theory or something like that. I'll look at something, vaguely reverse engineer it in my head, and then like actually figure it out by just doing it. And that's more or less what I do when I'm like, do you guys ever have moments where you can't sleep and you're laying awake and you're like imagining scenarios that you won't be in but are still like rehearsing for?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah. You're like imagining yourself having conversations with somebody, or like reviewing what you could have said in a different thing.
Oh yeah.
I've described this to other people.
I'll usually later give them to a character.
Okay.
if I'm not going to be in the situation, if I find it interesting, I might as well put someone else on.
I do.
Then I've already pre-written the dialogue.
A couple of my writing are really these writing pieces are just like an internal conversation that we wrote down.
Yeah.
Cool. I suppose that's more of a multiplayer thing with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
I just remember that meme.
I'll post the meme.
No, it's long. No, we can't.
What? Yeah.
Okay.
It was a whole. What the heck is that game? The like courtroom objection.
Sure, it's annoying that I
Phoenix
still
Wright.
can't link to.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Still can't link to the
used to try
Demiurge
that.
Diaries again, but there is some episode, I think it's 4 or so, which is about personalized thought constructs in my internal monodialogue.
Okay.
And that's just that.
Wow.
Please.
Yeah, like,
publish
the
those
waitress
faster.
and the gremlin and East Piss and Horses. That sort of thing.
Here, I'll trade you. For every one of mine that I post, you post one of yours. Do you think we can do that?
What?
Nobody will ever post anything.
Getting Oro to like publish more Demiurge Diary reduxes.
Yeah, I mean, they're fully edited on my computer. I just haven't gotten the fucking audio jingle from my friend yet, who promised me to give me that a month ago.
Wow.
Because, yeah, Tabak, you have no... Yeah, fucking people. Fucking people. I'm the only reliable person on the planet.
Mind if I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Go
Keep
ahead.
the people entertained.
I do agree that externals being more sociable is like just a soft trend. It's not like a hard and fast rule.
Right.
I was looking at that as a soft trend because the thinking style of, well, in order to work out my thoughts on this, I have to live it out or act it out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't finish the point that I was making before. Whatever, I'll wait for Chloe for that one. That would prompt people more often to interact with the world, and the world has people in it.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they're not like happy to be socializing, they are at least going to engage socially more often for any given population of externals than for a similarly sized population of internals.
Yeah, if I were to describe the internal process, it would be, it's sort of like trying to predict the future almost.
Yeah.
Like if I can model this whole thing in my head, then I can start seeing like branches that I don't want to take to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a bunch of doors with like long corridors, instead of going into them and walking down the corridors, I'm like opening a door, scoping it out, and then be like, no, not that one. Close that one.
Gotcha.
Until I find the right door and then follow that.
Okay.
That's interesting because I have a later note on look aheads.
So to connect that back into how we got onto this branch off in the first place, the practice of laying awake at night rehearsing for conversations that you'll never have. When I'm doing that, and apparently this isn't normal, I am not actually trying to have answers at the ready. I'm trying to rehearse the activity of having a conversation that hits on those themes so that when I get there in real life, if that ever comes up, it's familiar territory already, and I can kind of rely on my muscle memory to guide me through that conversation and know the right things to say.
I'm not that pragmatic about it. I just do it to like actually work through the ideas that I have and kind of come to conclusions on those things when I don't have anyone to talk to about those things, because I can't process information without talking to someone about it, so I make up someone to talk to if I don't have anyone.
That sounds pretty external to me.
Yes.
I'm not sure, because I'm pretty much always talking to somebody in my head.
Okay.
Well, this is why I wanted to lean on the style of doing it and not necessarily the fact that you do it at all. Because
right.
When I'm doing it, I'm never thinking of it in a planned sort of sense.
Okay.
Usually what it is, have you seen the Philosophy Tube video of having every permutation of the conversation about privacy and security?
Yes.
That's a good one.
Oh,
yeah. That's more of what it's like. It's just like I'll try something out and then I'll be improvising while I'm having this mental conversation. And then when I feel like I've hit on a good response, then I'll back up and try and I'll adjust the thing that they say a little bit, or like, what if this happens instead? And then I'll just, instead of planning it out in advance, I'm just working through it, but in a practice setting.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual actions that I'm taking in this mental dialogue aren't any different than if I had time travel powers and the ability to just rewind and try conversations over again like a visual novel protagonist.
Okay.
Like Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good game.
Yes.
External.
Oh god, this is...
Life is Strange.
Occasionally I pick up deeply fucking annoying conversational habits just because I think they'd be funny.
Okay.
And one of them recently has been telling people, hey, remember this counterfactual version of this exact conversation we're having, where we went down this road. Let's not do that again.
What?
That's pretty good.
I know that they're swerving in a particular direction. I'm like, okay, now I can play out in my mind exactly how this part of the talk would be going. We don't need to do this.
Okay.
Hey, remember when we had this conversation? We both know what will happen. Let's talk about the other more interesting aspects.
Cool.
But explicitly phrase as, hey, remember the counterfactual version of this discussion.
Okay. Cool.
Please do this more often to me.
Yes.
Oh, Christ.
By recently, I literally mean last week, and it's happened twice.
Oh my god.
That sounds like the opposite of the flash forward thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's definitely a flash diagonal.
Yeah.
That's what one of the main plot lines in Blaze Blue is about. Flashing diagonal or across.
Cool. Okay.
So the relationship between internal and external. Is it the relationship between Durst and Prospit?
It's a big part of that, yeah.
We will come back to this.
Let me think.
I think, yes, internal is... Being internal is part of what makes someone Dursian, and being external is part of what makes something Prospitan. There's not a 100% overlap, and there is more to Durst and Prospit than just that. But yeah, it's a factor, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, In the
And if you
same
take
way
a-
that there's multiple factors to like introverted and extroverted.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm prospect, but also internal.
If you take an external person and you like paint some frosting on them and then you fill them with cream, please, does that make them a prospeterol?
What?
You've never heard of a profiterole?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay.
What is that?
Like Callie is a very internal prospect.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing Callie does in conversations is kind of like let me get through all the points of information I have.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what guides the conversation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's often, this is already worked out. The conversation isn't a process of discovery for her.
Yeah. I definitely
She wouldn't
relate to
talk
that.
about it until she's figured it out. Or at least think she's figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which fits.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still prospect.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Another question. I have the feeling that external internal might be less stable than the other neurotyping axes, like across your life. I feel like that's one where you're more likely to make a big move.
The big night move.
Yeah,
I think
Flip
there's
turnways.
like a hierarchy, actually,
Uh-huh.
kind of.
Flat null hierarchies, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, where like it seems to me that linear lateral is the least flexible, and then categorical impressionistic, then internal external, and then which we will hopefully come to at some point soon, the fourth axis that
Okay, I don't agree on the order, but
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
I would also put impressionist first. Lexical impressionist
no,
first as
it's-
most
Okay.
stable, then lateral.
Okay.
I was thinking lateral first.
But that's what Chloe said, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm siding with Chloe, I think. That linear lateral is the most stable, and then external internal is the least stable. That's
Really?
where I would put it.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I'm a tiebreaker, or
you're required to vote.
that's really difficult. I mean,
Oh, perfect.
I think lateral and linear is like the most stable, in my opinion. And then like category, and then not category, lexical impressionistic, and then external internal. External internal are really like
Yeah, I think
volatile
that
for
too.
me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we can all agree on that.
Well, maybe then.
Yeah.
One of my big criticisms about most personality typing systems is this prescriptivism of when you are one thing, you are that thing always. And this also
Yeah.
extends to things like gender and sexuality, where
Yes,
like
because the brain does not change, and you are never wrong about yourself.
right, exactly.
Of
So
course.
I am always interested in the part that you have control over, and if like my big criticism of nature versus nurture as an argument, as like a framing of things, is that neither your nature nor your nurture do you have any agency over, and I want the way that I function to have some input from me.
Nature and nurture and myself.
Okay.
But where would that be coming from? Like the things that you want for yourself, you would have to have gotten them from somewhere. Like either they're inherent to you, in which case that's nature, or they're external to you, in which case that's nurture. What other source
No,
could
no,
there
no.
be?
The secret third source.
Yeah.
You can encounter something that you are socialized against, and
Yeah.
that is not in your intrinsic nature, and just evaluate it fairly and determine that actually it's better than the way that you currently are, and you should do that instead.
Yeah,
That is
no,
not you being pressed upon by authoritarian forces like parents and school, and neither is it
Right.
you like getting it rubbed off on you by your friends or anything like that. It's not environmental.
Yeah.
It
That
is
would be part of your nature then.
Okay, no. As a gender fluid trans person, I think you can 100% choose your gender, and that does play into your identity. There is a degree of agency that you have over your own identity and existence and stuff.
I'm saying you have that. I'm just saying the things you want need to come from somewhere. If they're not from somewhere else, then they're part of your nature. Because
no.
Yeah, I'm with Chloe.
What does that mean?
All right, with the nature argument that you sound like you're making is that it is genetically predisposed that you always would have believed this.
No. When I say that's part of your nature as a person, I don't mean this is in your fucking epigenetic makeup. No.
What do you mean then?
I think he's just saying the way you are right now has influence on what you do.
Yeah, it's your nature as a person, as opposed to an external influence.
Yeah, but you can still like distinguish between someone's like inherent qualities and qualities that they have agency over.
Yes.
I think that's a meaningful distinction to make.
Well, Oro is just rolling.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the distinction that this specific word makes.
Well, then let's make up a new word.
You're rolling too much into nature. Generally speaking, when somebody says nature versus nurture and they're arguing on the nature side, it's because they're racist.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But why would I use language the way that the racists do? That's stupid. You know, the way racists are stupid.
Meaning essentially that you have conceded. Because by using their word to include things that you have control over, you're giving them the ground that actually they were right and that your inborn
I'm
nature.
actively not giving them the ground by doing that. By saying, you can have that word and nature just means your fucking genetic code. That would be giving them ground. Saying, no, you're wrong about what nature means is the exact opposite.
You can't be wrong about what a word means.
Yeah, you can.
It depends, sure.
Words are pretty fluid.
What I mean when I say you're wrong about what that word means is you are using the word to describe a concept which does not accurately map onto reality in an observable way.
But
that is them using the word in a way that is not useful, and that's what I mean in this context.
But you're still using the word. You're just projecting other things on. Why not just abandon the word?
What other word would you use? I don't know.
National Socialist.
Are we do we not believe in reclaiming language? Is that not a thing we believe
I don't know if nature is a word we need to reclaim.
Well, I would choose like N1, N2, but no one likes that.
When I talk about the nature of reality, I'm not talking about its fucking genetics. This is already what the word nature means, and racists are just using it wrong.
No.
Oh, you were right all along.
Yeah. But as far as the public consciousness goes, you have lost that fight a long time ago. You lost that fight a century ago.
Well, you will know that I never bury the axe.
Dude, I don't think we are talking to a public consciousness. We are talking on a podcast.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. We're completely...
If you're going to bury the axe, do so into a Nazi.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like the way you die, boy.
Hate crime, the hate crimers, always.
What are we talking about?
Stability of the axis.
External internet, what's more volatile?
Free will?
Yeah, I'd like some.
Sure.
if it's free, sure.
Here, have some.
So this other thing, this internal and external subcategorizing PDF, the UE type and the lane type. Do we know who wrote this?
I don't recall.
That might be Woostis, or it might
Hold
be
on. No, I can. Give me a moment.
While you're looking at that, I'm gonna pull this up. Like a prime example of an internal fascinator would be the patron saint of fascinators, Senju Gahara. skip the rest of that paragraph. A more external fascinator, on the other hand, would be a character like Haruhi Suzumiya or Isaac from Bakano.
Okay, it was written by
Okay.
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 Yeah, that's what I've guessed too.
Yeah. This, like, I agree with all of the typings in this document for characters that I recognize. Like,
which document? Is that the first one?
Yeah, the one. Okay.
internal, external subtypes -1.pdf.
Just read Shadow Guardians and took psychic damage.
I like how this was supposed to just be kind of a refresher on the concept, but now we're like deep in the weeds of internality and externality again. This is perfect.
This is what we do.
We were supposed to have it internalized, but we're external.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a podcast is for.
Yeah.
I will always drag it out into the open.
We might have talked about that before. I didn't listen to all old episodes.
You definitely did.
When it comes to new axes, no, not things we've discussed so far. This thing. When it comes to adding new axes, I assume we all think that human beings are maybe not infinitely specific, but probably need a whole lot of different axes to correctly describe.
Fully describe them, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
How many useful axes do we think that? Like, what is the gradient here? How much less useful do they become with every additional axis added?
I think
If we
that
pick the best ones.
It's probably 7. It's my favorite number, so it should be right.
Oh, damn. 6 is my favorite number.
I think
About to fight.
the 4 we have are really good. And I don't see like an obvious hole where we would definitely need another axis to describe something that's like very important.
Yeah.
I think they tonally agree with each other for the most part, especially the first 3. I'm still not totally sold on the 4th one, because it just never sticks in my mind. But it definitely seems like the first 3 are describing the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I like having them together.
People, yeah.
And they also seem as robust as one another, and like they cover the holes in the other theories where with a lot of the alternate axes that people try to add, it doesn't seem like they're even talking about the same sort of thing.
Yeah, a lot of it is like trying to factor in more aspects of personality rather than how people think.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, the savory sweet axis.
Where I do think that savory all the way, by the way. While I do think that personality is downstream of the way that you think, it's useful to like winnow out just the ways that you think instead of going into personality infinitely, because that's such a clusterfuck.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like the internal, external subcategorizing doc, the fact that it can just list so many examples of here's 2 characters which only differ by this axis in the same neuro quadrant.
Yeah.
It's a good litmus test. It's not perfect, but that's like a good thing you can look at and go like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. This seems to be a stable subcurrent.
And from that, like using that model, they even highlight that Ryuk from Death Note and Light Yagami, also from Death Note, are the same.
Are both in Death Note.
Are the same type, but one of them is internal and the other one is external, and I think that's a really good demo of the concept.
Yeah.
Somewhere in one of these documents was a statement something like, maybe all of these axes are really separate things, and you can get different levels of good at them, which I have written down here as, in which the author rediscovers Tarbuck's belief that each axis is a skill.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's in the Urcoy doc.
Yeah, I saw you edit that multiple times.
Man, I skipped wrong.
Just call me author from now on.
So...
I will, author.
Does everybody know what an itinerary means in the year 1500?
No. I mean, so long as it's not the thing it means now. In that case, no.
It's related to the thing that it means now, but the concept is more interesting. Okay, so in the year 1500, maps are incredibly expensive. If you have a map of the country that you live in that's any good, it is worth more than the building you live in, just like across the board.
Yeah.
Maps, while ubiquitous now, were a very rare way to get around. What was much more common was the itinerary. Let's say you wanted to walk from London to whatever someplace on the north of the UK is.
Mm-hmm.
The itinerary is just a list of places in sequence that will get you from point A to point B. You would have a chain of places to get to where some of them are so distant to you that you may never have heard of. But, so let's say you live in point A, and then you know points B and C. But you know approximately how to get to point C. You can fuck around and figure it out. But once you're in point C, you have no idea how to get to point F or even point D. So you ask the people who live at point C, hey, how do you get to point D? And then they tell you, and then you go there. And you repeat this process every time you get to a new point. And that's how you get from place to place, is you just have a list of places.
Bro, this sounds like internet.
Yeah, you just go there, and then you ask for directions once you are there already. And this is what an itinerary was. This was the primary way of getting around to places that you've never been to before, where you don't have like a path or a guide or anything like that.
Cool.
You are just given an itinerary of how to get there, and then you go there, and then once you're there, you improvise how to get to the next place. And that is the external way, whereas the internal way is having a map. Or another view on this same thing is publishing some software and then patching it afterwards, of just like painting in broad strokes and then refining, versus having some kind of like feature roadmap, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I'd just make sure the program's perfect and then put it out there.
The
most internal way would be to just make the thing and put
just
it out.
do it right the first time.
Yeah. Only publish finished products. Who am I? No one left is like that.
Only publish, never make, only publish.
Never make, only publish.
I really love yours that didn't make it.
All right. Do we want to...
That's why P is bad. Never make, only publish.
Do we want to move on to the second post now that we're our second hour?
No, wait. One more thing.
Oh, I think we can end the episode now.
The Urcoy doc brings up the time cake post again about agentic embedding, like the thing with the grippers and the arena.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'll grab that real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. The fact that this also has an agent and an object with which it interacts seems like it is also a type of internal-external, and it seems, if we look at neurotendency, seems to sort of map onto agent embedding in the time cake post. Like, the more embedded usually meaning more external.
Huh.
I just thought that was neat.
I have no idea what this means, but
We have a whole episode about it. It's a mess.
I listen to all the episodes, but some of the time cake stuff I think is still flying over my head.
Well, in an earlier episode, I called out the fact that the time cake post, this one in particular, was orbiting this internal-external concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I brought this up because Magica, their explanation of impressionism and lexicality was internal and external.
Yeah,
like a version of that.
That's
and I think
happened to us,
there's a version of that was I don't agree with, but I think if it's what's going on here in the time cake post, I think I agree with it a little bit more.
Okay. What I'm saying is, if you look at the lexical side, the agent looking at the arena as an external object, that seems like the sort of bird's eye picture. We have this category, sort of makes sense why it's there.
Yeah.
and we can get a holistic view from the outside, which is sort of the internal mode of interacting with things. Just look at it, think it through.
Yeah.
Whereas on the impressionist side, we have the agent directly as part of the arena, meaning that any thinking which does occur means messing with the environment, essentially. And this, to me, is an explanation why it seems like neurotendency seems to sort of associate externality with impressionism.
Okay.
Sort of. Like weak trend.
I was associating it with lexicality.
Oh no.
So the more internal, the more you're like close to the metal.
That's
what I was thinking.
Like a thing that we've run into a lot with people like conflating internality, externality with impressionism, lexicality in a way that is not consistent and really just like not good. Because it doesn't make sense.
That was the whole point of the doc that I wrote, was like, it seems like this third axis was like wiggling its way around in the 2D chart, and everybody was like picking up on it, but it was causing them to have very inconsistent takes on the first two axes.
Okay, so did you ever believe that neurotendency, as in a correlation there, is a thing at all? Is that still, or was that ever a belief you have?
What do you mean?
That different neurotypes have some tendency to be more internal or external.
No, I don't think
more
that.
likely to be.
Yeah.
Because in one of the docs, I think the OK one, maybe this is just an OK take then.
What? What is it?
I think in here it says at some point, wait a sec. I didn't write this down.
Okay. What does it say? According to you.
Okay. After observing this, we deduced that, although the neurotypes can be subcategorized into internal and external processors, a type most likely has a tendency towards one of the two ways of further processing. I have personally taken to calling this the neurotendency. As such, the Shadow Guardian has an internal neurotendency, while the pure instinct type would most likely be an external.
I think that's a relic of stereotyping.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like the overseer. The overseer is very internal, but the overseer is not real.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to use this as if there's such a strong tendency, that speaks to them not really being separate axes.
I think that's
actually being orthogonal.
Stereotyping there. We will come back to this.
Gotcha.
There are correlations you can make, but I don't think they're causal. I think it's stereotyping.
In the name of stereotyping, to sing the praises of stereotyping, the internal pure instinct is highly domable. And should be safeguarded.
The absorber. Yeah, they just absorb everything you throw at them.
Find an internal pure instinct and top them. Yes. Perfect.
Find an external overseer and get topped. I don't know.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my god.
Right. I was thinking Vriska, but I guess you're also here.
I know the problem. I too am always thinking Vriska.
Hey, I'm known for having done nothing wrong.
No, I think we've well documented that you have done things wrong.
Yeah.
Disavow.
The disavow that fell flat.
Yeah. I mean, you just said to Dom the 14-year-old, okay.
I mean, only do that if you're also 14, I guess.
Gotcha.
That is my official to the government stance.
Okay.
All right.
Whether that's my actual stance or not, maybe get to know me a little better, huh?
You just keep digging.
Maybe you'll find gold if you keep digging.
Rei Ayanami is also not real.
Yes.
Yes.
So the point is moot. You can sexualize anime characters as much as you want because they don't exist.
You can. if you do it too much, it's still suspicious.
Yeah, it is weird, but also like,
yeah.
It's not like they're not sexualized in the anime itself.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
of course.
And
I guess
all
what I'm
of
really
the
saying
merch.
at the end of the day is that my opinion and moral judgment of a person who has a Rei Ayanami body pillow is whether or not I already want to fuck them.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Before finding that out.
I see.
Disavow.
Disavow.
What is going on?
How many underage people do you know who have Rei Ayanami body pillows? Evangelion in general is a show for old people now.
Yeah.
I should ask. I should ask at the next anime convention.
This comes back to the weird situations created by the fact that fictional characters don't age.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you make them.
Because Rei Ayanami should be like 5 years older than me at least.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
technically, her birthday is in 2001.
Okay. Well, if she was born in 2001, then she's legal now.
Yeah. She's my age.
Cool.
Hey, how you doing?
God. Okay, I'm jumping in with an insert to read you a comment from Moncap from episode 17, the one we had Beatrice on. Quote, I think the perfect label for the third dimension is rationalism versus empiricism. Like, are you trying to get more input, or do you try to think about the inputs you already have more? End quote. So, yeah, I think that is a pretty good framing for it. So, rationalism being more about trying to logic your way through the world, and empiricism being more about gathering direct experience and experimentation and basing things off of that directly. So that would tie rationalism in with internal and empiricism with external, basically. The fuck were we talking about?
Internal versus external. Like, we're trying to wrap that one up before the hour 20-minute mark, and we failed.
We're going to move on to Neurotyping to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Not to be confused with the movie The Game.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was really fun. Because I put it out on April Fool's. Like, I used April Fool's as an excuse to make the chart.
Great.
But the joke is serious.
Yeah. That explains some of the type names.
Right. So yeah, I took that internal external thing, renamed it because I like being very specific. Called it here it's perspectal. I use perspective instead. That would be the internal, and then extemporal for the external.
Yeah.
Whereas if an internal dies, they're prospectral.
Yeah. And then added on axis number 4, which is the stationary to protean.
Where
which,
protean is...
I got this from discussions of you're trying to come up with like a flexible axis.
Yeah,
like whether somebody is flexible or inflexible.
The amount of variance that they have.
Right.
Like, how big is the surface area of your heat map?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking. But I took that and I wanted to make it more neutral. Because to me it seemed like being more flexible
Is just good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good
I would
to
actually...
be able to flex. So I changed it to the protean kind of means just like tending to or able to change frequently. So like you might not have that much control over it. Like it could be you could think of it as like, I think Small Man described it as like slippery brain.
Yeah.
You know, if you're too flexible, your joints might get fucked up.
Yeah.
These joints.
As we've learned, flexibility isn't always a positive.
blood clotting, and then we have limb knotting.
Oh, Kai, do you want to read the type names?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let me go through. Okay, so I'll do reading order. So starting all the way extemporal, stationary.
Oh, also, you know the way in which I want you to pronounce the first one.
Is there multiple ways to pronounce it?
There is a way in which the distortion pronounces it.
Oh, I don't think I got to whatever that is.
Oh. Okay.
Well, damn. Okay, anyways.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Archivist, then specialist, raven, and synth. And then going down, we have professor, boss baby, cool cat, and phantom. And then detective, reviewer, chameleon, wizard. And then rationalist, extrapolator, velociraptor, and seer.
Nice.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Boss Baby. Like, what's that again?
I think, I changed it to like super advisor or something on like a newer version.
So,
but Boss Baby is still has a place in my heart.
Yeah.
So I know you just explained it seconds ago, but I still don't have a good grasp on what you mean with protean. When you say slippery brain, do you mean like changes your mind about shit?
It's not just changing your mind, because like I should hope people change their mind if they learn new information. That is true.
They don't. Most of them suck.
Right. That's not what this is. That's just being dumb and stubborn. Yeah. But like, it's more to do with like an inability to get a handle on things in a way that's like useful. It's sort of like you can know something, but it's like intangible still somehow.
Like what I'm doing right now, you mean?
No, I think you're just not getting it. Well, okay.
Let me crack open a new can of concentration juice.
Let me back up a second. So there's like... So you'll have some impressionistic people who have a really hard time explaining themselves.
Yeah.
But then I think you also have some who just kind of commit to what what the idea is, even if it's kind of fuzzy. Mm-hmm. So, for example, not a vampire type themselves as rationalist, like very stationary, but they're still very impressionistic, like Red Column.
Yes.
And when they're speaking, it's very... They kind of go all in with it. Like, there's not a whole lot of... I guess what I'm doing right now.
Less of the searching for new words?
Sort of.
Or, like, better articulations?
Yeah, it's like... The slippery brain is like... Nothing is, like, sticking when you're trying to put something together. It's, like, just in sketch form. But there's no, like, hard lines forming.
That sounds impressionistic to me.
It does kind of.
Does somebody else who understands this concept want to try and take a run at it?
I kind of understand it, I think.
Yeah, and I think I can. I also, my mind's also quite slippery, even though I'm pretty lexical.
Yeah,
so I can understand.
That's a good example.
I can. Yeah, I'm the best example of this ever.
Tolgi versus not a vampire. There we go. On opposite ends of the first chart, and probably opposite ends on this chart. Or, yeah.
The way I understand it is that, like, it's about how you deal with new information. So if you're very protean, you very quickly incorporate new information into your understanding. Mm-hmm. And if you're more stationary, you already have a fixed understanding, and takes kind of more to incorporate new information into that understanding.
Yeah, and that just occurred to me with the protean. They'll pick up things and commit to them, but then sort of lose them just as quickly.
Yeah.
So they'll be the type of person who's like, I guess it is changing their mind, but not in a progress type of way. It's in a way where it's just swapping out one thing for another almost arbitrarily.
Yeah.
That's kind of the expression I would have given, like not getting too attached to thoughts.
They have like a new ideology every week. Or
Yes.
Gotcha. So the left side has beliefs and the right side does not.
That's one way of putting it. But
Yeah, like,
if you're being reductive.
The stationary side has very strong beliefs and a very fixed understanding, while the protean side is like has less like fixed beliefs.
One of them is the ocean, and one of them is the rock sticking out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Principles versus going through it every time. Is this actually good? And coming to different conclusions sometimes.
Yeah.
I see myself as a specialist in that case.
Yeah, that's. Do you remember that conversation where it was just you, me, and Chloe? We were chatting about it. That's what we had come to before as your type, a specialist.
Well, a sign of truth is when somebody else like is given all the tools and rediscovers the exact same thing you did.
Yes.
I mean, I think you came to that type yourself.
Where do you type me?
I think you're a cool cat.
I know, but where do you type me?
Okay.
Yeah. No, that seems reasonable.
Where do you put yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I can't choose between reviewer and chameleon, and I'm not really...
Okay. What were you gonna say, Laura?
I said the issue is that for both of these axes, I think that I'm pretty centristy.
Okay.
So that makes it difficult for me to have strong opinions on either.
Cool.
From the outside, it seems pretty cool, cat.
Foggy, what do you think?
Yeah, I was asking you called that.
First impression is a wizard.
That's also my first impression.
But I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, me neither. I still have to wrestle with the prospector axis.
Right.
What bothers me is I really want the bottom right one is seer, so I really want the top right one to be sylph because it's so close. I just think the spider should exist, and every time I want to read as sylph because...
Well, stylistically, sylph does make sense as like an air elemental type, like flitty, vaporous, and highly externalized. Yeah. Just rename it
the
sylph.
issue is me and probably also Urcoy are thinking of Homestuck sylphs, which are pretty stationary.
Also really nice. I'm a human calculator and a wizard, so human calculator wizard.
Yes.
Or like human computer wizard even.
Computer wizard.
You're a tech whiz.
Tech whiz.
Perfect.
Got him.
Don't call me.
And where do you put me?
Good question. I think you're like synth raven era.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Synthetic bird.
Yeah, that is basically where I would have put you as well, is either in the same column or in the same row as me, because I like you, and similarity to me is how I judge people as being worse than liking. Not actually true.
I would say I'm in like
okay, based on that, how much you like me, where am I?
I see Chloe as like approximately aligned to the way that I am, but a little further out. So Raven or Synth is perfect.
Yeah.
Actually having a little less beliefs.
Yeah, no, I have a few like core beliefs that I hold strongly, but in most things I am more pragmatic, just whatever works in the moment.
Mm-hmm. I'm really trying to dwarf pill myself. I'm trying to turn my mind to the virtues of dwarves.
Okay.
Like, and so
kill all
like
elves. Kill all elves.
Oh dear.
Oh man, I have more to tell you about the Ballad of Gimbleshanks. The Skimbleshanks from the musical Cats combined with Gimli character.
Right, if you're trying to
That
dwarf
sounds
fill
great.
yourself, this means you need to start being okay with alcohol.
Ooh.
Can't be a dwarf.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
and strange moods.
Totally.
It's challenging. It's
Yeah.
challenging, but I'm trying to get there. I also came to the insight that the relationship between dwarves and elves is the same as the relationship between werewolves and vampires, but with the classism reversed.
Okay.
Or not the classism. The classism is the same, but the alignment to nature is reversed. That's what it is.
Okay.
Where werewolves are nature and low class, and dwarves are industry and low class.
Yeah.
Okay.
New chart. Make a new chart left and right.
New
It's like
accents.
a secret identities shipping square.
Wow.
Do not draw a shipping grid.
Yeah, you guys are familiar with the shipping square?
The one from Homestuck.
No, not different one. Here, this
Different
is
one. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Miraculous Ladybug.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This show is so good.
Agree.
And so much of it is just this square.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please extrapolate in your mind what I could possibly mean when I say this is the only made-for-television show that I have had to watch at regular speed. I have been unable to feel the need to speed it up.
Wow.
Would you
Sounds like a very ADHD Franco show.
would you
There's
agree this is
so
almost
much
like a spiritual successor to Friendship is Magic in a way? With like the level of
Autism?
I guess so.
The level
Like
of autism.
a show for kids that is has like lessons in it.
I want to get further into it before I commit to that kind of analysis, but I see the
Right.
beginnings of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm all the way caught up, so
Okay.
I feel like it is.
And to be clear, I have been able to watch it without the need to speed it up, both in English and in French.
Wow.
Not that I speak French, but like, both of them have the same sort of pace to it.
Uh-huh. I mean, that's not really surprising, but yeah.
Well, normally when I'm watching something that is dubbed, if it's like anime, I can watch it at like 1 3/4 speed, just fine. Because the show itself, while maybe visually dense, I don't feel like it's that difficult to visually parse. Whereas like the ideas per second is too low, and that's why I have to speed everything up.
Okay.
But that is not the case with Ladybug.
Yeah. Go watch The Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Mm-hmm.
Neurotypeline endorsed.
Yeah.
Right.
I
met the guy who made it.
Wow.
Look at me. One year.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's the only time I watched a bit of it, like what was out at the time. This was like the first year it was airing, I think. So I didn't know shit. I was just at this panel, I was like, oh, it's the French are making anime again. Huh.
Okay.
Like Doofus, which is a good movie, and you should watch it. It's also a French anime.
Okay.
Post something from it. Maybe I've seen it. Maybe like an IMDb link. I want to be able to track this thing down if it comes with your recommendation.
Yeah, sure. Wait, what did you want for it? IMDb?
Yeah, or just the title even would work.
Oh.
But,
Bad audio content. There you go.
Yeah, in the
Back
meantime.
into the audio jungle once again.
So, anyway, the next thing. The next, like... I feel a little better about this stationary protean thing. It'll probably fall out of my head again. You'll have to do this all over again when we film our next episode next year.
Cool.
Wait, I wanted more input. What do you guys think my type is? Because one issue I'm having is distinguishing between the protean and prospective issues I'm having.
Okay.
Am I mistaking the two?
I probably put you in like Velociraptor.
Okay, that's pretty perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm just wondering how, because I'm pretty consistent, but I also like think a really long time about things to get them right in the first place.
Yep.
Huh.
You're like full of that protease.
I do think you might be high Velociraptor, but I do think you're like lowest row.
Okay.
Prospectal.
Cool.
I do think if you put me as Cool Cat, I do think you're a bit more protein than me, but we might still be the same column. But my read on protean stationary is also inchoate at best.
So like upper right square of Velociraptor.
Yeah.
Damn.
Going from the previous typings made of people in this chat, that seems right to me.
Isn't that pretty close to where we placed Mask?
I no longer remember. I remember being party to that conversation, but
yeah, I remember Vamp saying Mask used to be Seer and is now Chameleon.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't remember what's that.
That tracks.
I don't remember the implications of that, but yeah. I really liked Mask's blog.
Well, Mask also hasn't published anything in like 4 years, so
Right.
it would be hard for anybody who doesn't know them in person to keep track of.
Yeah.
Huh.
When I read Mask, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. I love this.
Okay.
This is for me.
Great.
Yeah. Which also means that you get the coolest type name.
Oh yeah.
Velociraptor is the best one.
Thanks, I made it myself. Well, I didn't make it myself.
You didn't make it yourself.
Yeah. No, it's from the Velociraptor.
Well, yes, but you picked these names. Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody else contributed to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reinvent a word by endowing it with new meaning
Yes.
anytime you use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Endowing? Imparting? Am I using the right words? I think endow works in this context. Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
I just made it fine.
That's good.
A certain amount of me, like my intuition pushes me in the direction that the stationary to protean axis feels very similar to the bookkeeper to new type axis.
Okay.
I wonder if that's another one that, like the chaos axis.
The order chaos axis.
Yeah. I wonder if that had another sort of splitting hair thing, or like a,
Which axis?
The bottom left to top right diagonal on the normal neurochart,
And
the left to right axis on this chart.
He's drawing a correlation between those.
okay.
Maybe so. I guess I don't think too much about that diagonal, but I could sort of see it.
It would make sense that that Chloe would be on the right half of this chart if that diagonal typing is true.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, part of this too was typing Scroy. I think Scroy.
Oh yeah, no, right.
Is
yes.
a new type, but also the thing about Scroy is their bottom left on this chart.
Scry is rational, is definitely, yeah. I was also thinking about Hermit, who I think is very lexical, but also extremely protean.
Yeah, maximally protean. Protean to the point of uselessness.
Okay.
You cannot make beliefs stick to a hermit.
Yeah.
I like that archivist is, by the way.
Okay, I was wondering.
I thought you had finished Magnus Archives. Doesn't matter.
No, I got halfway and then stopped.
Archivist. I like that it's the opposite of seer, because in the Magnus Archives, the archivist is a pretty seery figure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's funny that seeing and archiving are on opposite ends. Like the seer is like they're kind of just trapped, like stun-locked, taking in all the information and churning through it. Whereas the archivist is just like slotting everything in, and then that's that. No problem. No thoughts beyond that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Saruman.
Some of these names are definitely they don't have the same kind of immediate association that the main chart names have.
Right.
Yeah.
I just kind of went all out with like, this is a huge joke.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter, but somehow
Yeah.
I think they all still fit.
Yeah.
Works for me.
We can maybe come up with different names at some point. But it's difficult. It's difficult to figure out good descriptors.
Oh, Tolgi, if you just scroll down on Neurotyping 2, the movie, you'll see that I have the first comment on it.
You want to explain it to the rest of us, mate?
Yeah, and then I always saw that.
You did at one point say that maybe extemporal perspective might be, like, in your conception, different from internal external. Are you?
I think not really. I think maybe it's maybe slightly more specific about wording it, but that's pretty much it. It's
okay.
Basically the same thing. I think the words I pick here sort of get at it's like an axis of time to action.
Yeah.
Like the more external people are going to be faster to start doing things, which is what extemporal means, like without thought. And then perspective is like
only thought, never make. Only thing.
Yeah, that thing about like I mean, it means like expected in the future.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I'm doing, is like trying to like, okay, don't go down this path because it's just going to lead to this. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Just try to find the path I care about first before doing anything at all.
Good. Yeah. That's right. Like the terms can describe the same thing, but they kind of complement each other in kind of outlining it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I return with another insert. I wanted to share with you quadrant names that Tarbuck came up with for the chart number 2. So in the extemporal stationary, he's got Challenger. Extemporal protean, he's got Explorer. Stationary prospective, there is Tactics. And protean perspective, there is Strategy. I took the names he came up with and turned them into verbs. I had to change one of them because it doesn't. Tactics doesn't have a verb form, so I changed that to operate. And I went ahead and turned it into a chart, which you can see on screen right now. And what I'm curious about now, since there are quadrant names for both charts, if the intersection of both quadrants that you're in, the one on either chart, if that fits well. And for me, I think it does. The combination of expand and strategize. For Chloe and Oro, that would be expand and explore. And for Tarbuck, that would be expand and challenge. For Tolgi, that would be network and strategize. And I'll leave you with that to think about. I guess one last thing I want to bring up was some column names that Tarbuck came up with.
Okay.
Which was so it's first it's the melon column, and then the citrus column, and then the tropical column, and then the wild berry column.
Yep.
Tropical. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, when was this? I don't remember this at all.
It was during that convo with is just me, Tarbuck, and Chloe.
That's amazing. I've never heard of it.
I would go for like more of a cold association with the third column rather than tropical. Yeah.
Well, that's because you don't eat the best candy that you can ever find in a gas station, Starburst.
Okay.
I was thinking like Mountain Dew Baja Blast, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're calling on the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other ones make sense to me.
Yeah.
Melon, yeah. Citrus, yeah. Wildberry. But tropical, I don't know.
Right. You can also call it the animal column. That's something I actively thought about.
Oh, yeah.
They're all animals. Animal names.
Yeah, my 4 favorite flavors: melon, citrus, animal, and wildberry.
Yeah.
Great.
I like the water association because now we're going in reverse order for humorous reasons. If we see all these as water, colors water might occupy, we have artistic, clean river, swamp, and Evangelion.
Okay.
Yeah. In the citrus column, I sort of had a almost like militaristic approach with it. Like the green camo. I mean, yellow, I don't know, bandana or something. I don't know. But the names also. Except for Boss Baby. Which I changed to Supervisor. But yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got.
2 hours of review.
Yeah, one hour per post. We're on track.
Oh, God. Have we really been going for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to promote your neurotyping database?
I was thinking of doing a lot more than just promoting it. This was supposed to be the bulk of the episode.
That's good. There's still time to be living in the database.
As we know, 3 hours equals 90 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think I will have to go then because honestly my body temperature is like dipping below critical point.
Oh, that
I
does
think
not
I have to
sound
stop
healthy.
Do you want parting
No.
sync clap?
Yeah, parting.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
That's very nice of you.
Great. All right.
This is what I meant by insanely prolific, amongst other things. Just good. It's good to have someone who cares this much because we've been doing a podcast on this for a while now, and we're sure as fuck not putting this sort of rigor into it.
Yeah. I have OCD. So,
to explain what we're looking at, we have an Excel sheet categorized into different, layers of it. I don't know what these are called. Doesn't matter. The first of all is just categorizing a number of characters from different charts made by different people. Then with the columns, are they fictional? Are they real? What thing are they from? What's their neurotype? What's the laterality? What's the impressionism in percent? The externality in percent when given. Flexibility in percent when given. Temperament focus for the Homestuck shit, because of course it's class aspect, lunar sway. Extroversion, neuroticism.
Conscientiousness.
Oh, it was just cut off on my end.
Yeah, you can click on it and it'll show
agreeableness, openness. Yeah, normally it cuts off in the middle of a character, so I can see that it's cut off. In this case, it wasn't.
Okay.
Agreeableness, openness.
And also, man,
all the young stuff. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's everything. Everything that some database might have on them.
Dominant function, MBTI, socionics, archetype, main and secondary temperaments, Enneagram, instinct, zodiac signs.
Wait, God from TF2.
Which is funny because I would say that God in the Bible is a bookkeeper. It's completely the opposite.
That I don't know that I would go all the way bookkeeper. I'd probably say level-headed or understanding, one of those.
Yeah.
Understanding. God understands.
Yeah.
And then various data analyses on that.
Yeah.
Like, what's the distribution across the chart?
Yeah.
Imp lat count. That's pretty neat.
Impact count, yeah.
Yeah, there's also some hidden stuff.
You will see all of this on screen because it's sort of difficult to explain.
Yeah.
Just the scale of it.
Yeah, you can like link it in the description of the video,
sure.
so people can look at it themselves and
obviously also
maybe contribute. I have like
you
form.
too can be useful to society.
Yeah, have like a form that's easy to fill out, or you can go into the chart and like just look at characters and like look at whether you agree or disagree with typing and then comment on it. So the more input the better. Even if you don't have like any change you would make, just like indicating that you agree with the typing is also helpful, because it lets me know that there's a consensus there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, can you post the chart that you like, the master chart for your particular naming key? Because I noticed that like astute is here.
I don't think I have a chart with the specific combination of names I used here, but let's see.
Astute, socialite, instinctual. I think those are the only major, and sensate. Although sensate, like, we keep advocating for sensate, and it keeps not winding up on charts.
Yeah.
Because I'm advocating for meditative.
All right.
I don't think I actually have a chart with this combination of terms on it.
Okay. So we've got the giant list. We have an impressionist and laterals by count, and a whole bunch of different data points. We have the same thing for impressionist laterals in terms of like data percentage. I'm flipping through the different combinations here. Let's see. Lateral and external. Flex external. Let's see. Flexibility,
that's
which is
basically the Urcoy chart.
Yeah. And then a bunch of characters placed on the Urcoy chart.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're out there, highly flexible impressionist, please just tell you. No, fuck.
What?
Fuck. Oh no, highly flexible externalist. Just call yourself a flexternalist.
Hell yeah.
Highly protein externalist. Exactly. That's what I meant to say.
Great.
Yeah. Chloe, what do you want to talk about? I think that's more useful than talking at individual names.
I just want to give you all the types.
I mean, I know you have thoughts on typing distributions.
Yeah.
By different people.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
that
the
feels
last
like a topic
thing.
that will come up.
I'm looking at the second to last page, the subtypes page, where it's just a big grid of grids of the numbers in every category.
Yeah, this is probably the most opaque part of this.
What the hell is this?
You don't need to understand this. It's kind of outdated. Yeah. It is a thing.
I see. It's multiple 69s.
Nice.
Double nice.
Yeah.
If you contribute to this, dear listener, you might be able to make there be more 69s.
Or less, who knows?
1, 2, 3.
Or less, but why would you want that? I
There's
suppose you might be a
more-
prude listening to this.
There's 7 more possible 69s. 3 of which are quite close.
I disavow the prudent.
Great.
If you're a rationalist bookkeeper, get out of here.
You just about the prudent.
Prudish. Whatever.
You said prudent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same.
Sure.
No, it's not.
The pertinent prudish
The
prudence.
pertinent protean prudish. A protean prude would be interesting.
Oh my
Oh
god.
god.
So something this thing kind of shows is like the neurotendency kind of, which I think is mostly down to stereotyping and like issues with our data and isn't really reflective of reality because like we have like for example contemplative on here lean very internal or understanding lean very relaxed, but like that kind of lines up with the stereotype of those types, and so I'm not sure it's like reflective of something deeper and more kind of just like the vibes people associate with those types.
Yeah, both like contemplative and overseer. I guess overseer has had more typings overall, but the stereotype of the overseer is kind of an internal-ish thing.
That's not
as well as the contemplative.
Yeah. Do we want to like start with the distribution of types?
Yeah, I'm looking at the contributions page. I noticed there's different people here on here and their typings.
And
it's very interesting. So Trixie's is like obsessed with the corners, except for human calculator for some reason.
Yeah, she's especially obsessed with new types. Which like if we look into let him count up there in the new type corner, there are 8 in 100% impressionism, 100% laterality. Those are all Trixie's typings.
Yeah. I mean, she does have an avowed thing for that sort of character, so that makes sense.
I knew my leanings would be sort of downwards. I'm surprised it clusters most in understanding. It's a little surprising to me. I thought it would have been externalist, like the trend in my mind.
Yeah.
If the left-right trends any direction, I think it would be more impressionistic.
Yeah.
But
I've seen these before, but when I did the first time, I was very pleasantly surprised that my distribution looks exactly the way in which I would believe population as a whole to look like.
Okay.
Obviously, small sample size, so there's noise in there.
Yeah.
But externalist understanding as the far and away most common types, it being sort of symmetric down the middle.
Yeah.
And very slightly more bottom rows than top rows. But only very slightly, and that's all in here. It does the exact thing I think it should do, which is nice.
My typings is like very like centered at the center, with like a pretty even distribution in like all of the types around that.
Do you think that spins out of the kinds of media that you engage with deeply enough to type and make charts out of?
I think that definitely is an aspect of it. Like, when we typed Star Wars, for example, we noticed that a lot of the characters lean linear lexical, which is also where we typed George Lucas. So, like, there are tendencies like that in media where, like, a certain creator will largely create characters in a certain type.
Either due to personal taste or the difficulties in imagining somebody who is radically different from you.
Yeah.
I feel like across the whole of media, it's a pretty... People try to go for, or end up with more of an even spread if you were to layer them all on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where the value of something like this really shines through, because of how like when you get like hundreds of characters, you start to see what the real heat map trend is. by that population.
Right. But I think at that point where it's like characters versus meat space people, is there a difference there in the trend?
I mean,
because like I don't think I can't really count on one hand the number of top lats I've met in meat space.
Okay.
I don't know if that's real or if they're all like hiding.
I don't think I've set up a chart like an ability to view like the distribution comparing fictional versus real.
And there aren't a lot of
like
real so far.
Yeah. In
Well, I mean, I think that's sensible. Because it will either be celebrities or public figures who might as well be fiction. Let's be honest. It's the image they are presenting for the public. They might as well be characters.
Yeah.
And if you do people you actually know, then that's not helpful to anyone because they probably don't know these people.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be cool. Like I've entered myself into this chart. Other Chloe has also entered herself into this chart. It would be cool to get like more people like entering their own typings, so we can maybe analyze those. But of course, that's also going to be biased by this community, which leans largely Latin.
Am I on here?
I'd love to just do my friend group. Just do random people I've had interactions with.
Let's see. I'd probably be in the YouTuber section.
What kind of name would you have to like put in? Because I don't know. Put in real people's names.
I haven't added in anyone that I personally know because I would like to get their permission first. And also they can probably do it better themselves.
I wouldn't use their real name.
Everyone has carte blanche permission to put me on any chart or graph as they see fit, and I have the right to disagree with you if it happens to be a chart that I don't approve of. But I will never fight you for putting me on a chart in concept.
Okay. I do still think it would be better to get like your own take on where you place. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd kind of like to do another thing like this, but focused on IRL people.
Yeah.
But I think the way you'd have to do it is you have to set it up to keep things anonymous, and it would just be, you know, I guess the only data would be who the typings are from.
Yeah.
Typer number, whatever, and then person number.
Yeah.
So we can just keep people as data points.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a cool thing to do, but I'm not interested in that.
I mean, I feel like I know what the trend would be if I did characters I've written.
Yeah.
It will all be externalists and analysts.
Okay.
And literally me, of course.
I think my characters probably crowd around Overseer.
I have not written any characters.
I should actually try to figure that out. That should go pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to neurotype my RPG characters now.
Okay.
Which is something that I haven't really thought that much about in quite a while.
Oh yeah, I made a couple. Okay, yeah, one of them is a meditative, and the other one is a level-headed. The 2 times I played D&D.
Cool.
Play a better game than D&D, and maybe you'll play more than one session.
Oh my god.
I recommend any Powered by the Apocalypse game.
If I ever visit, do you want to play some games?
Yeah, sure, dude. We can, like, I even know some people who are, like, developing new systems to try out that are better than most of what gets played. The trend of the extremely categorical tabletop RPG is basically dead. D&D is like the apex of the categorical RPG in terms of popularity, even if it's not the most categorical RPG there is.
Okay.
Right.
The trend over the last 15 years has been to get more and more and more impressionistic and interpretive with the rules, and I think more people need to know that that's even possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't Mask making one that was super number crunchy?
Yes, Masks RPG, which I helped with, is basically a universe simulator.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And then when we started getting into more interpretive, impressionistic RPGs, then it swung all the way in the opposite direction. No dice, no numbers, not even the closest game that I could compare it to is like Dream Askew.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
The central conflict resolution mechanic is this like baseball thing called hand over hand. You ever see Twilight?
The movies?
Yeah.
I have not.
Do you know the somebody holds out a baseball bat and then you put your hand over their hand and you like slowly climb up the bat?
What?
Never mind. If you try out the game, then I'll show it to you then, I guess.
Sounds like a sexual activity. I don't know. Put your hand
Climb
on
up
their
my
head.
bat.
Slowly climb up the bat. Like what?
Terrible. Okay. So you actually didn't say much on the chart distributions.
Right.
apart from
What's interesting on here is that HC is really low. Like
underpopulated. Yeah.
yeah. Like it's less than half the number of externalists.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just like a lack of people typing that, or I don't know.
I feel like with in media, people tend to save the HC for a special kind of character almost.
Yeah. Like, because it's one of the more out there types.
This is the Moriarty or the Sherlock or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's an out there type and like one on the corners, but it's one on the corners that is evocative in a way that you can think of more archetypes more easily for the other corners than you can for the human calculator corner.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it has one additional really strong stereotype, which is just the Sherlock.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit, because Caliborns can be human calculators.
Yeah.
You can be the biggest dumbass in the universe.
God.
Still work.
Yeah.
Caliborn is my like literally drawing circles out of tiny right angles.
Yeah, Caliborn is my favorite human calculator.
Okay.
Because he fits none of the stereotypes. He's just a fucking moron.
No, he's an artistic genius. You don't understand.
Who the hell is this person?
Homestuck.
Homestuck.
Okay.
Read Homestuck.
I wonder if there's
the thing Coy and me are referring to is that he learns drawing, and he does this first by only drawing like straight lines, and eventually figures out that he can draw a circle by just doing a very small, intricate zigzag, line by line, each individually. And that's how he figures out how to draw a fucking circle. That tells you everything you need to know.
That is amazing.
Yep, you're correct.
Well then.
Wow. Yeah.
If AI was a person.
As one of the more caricatured types, it makes sense that it's rare there. All right. What are some other observations that you have? Because you constructed the document.
All right.
It's interesting that it leans like the top edge and the right edge both have less. So there's in general more Linlexes.
What?
There's more.
Point to the chart that you're talking about.
On the distributions.
On the all distribution, the one that has colored circles, or the one that's a series of heat maps?
On the contributions tab.
Okay.
The one that says all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's more Linlex people and characters.
No, there aren't. What?
There's like
Yeah, there are.
57. Like if you look at the right side.
For Hardlin, no.
Were you looking at the same thing?
The red column and the top row are less represented than the rest of the chart. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I just mean the edge, not the whole half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The 3x3 in the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
It's far more populous than the upper right rim.
Because yeah, in total there are more on the impressionistic side than on the. But yeah,
right. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that number.
I think that might be like some kind of quirk of the data. Like, if I remember correctly, I think Trixie slightly leaned her typings towards the left-hand side and the bottom. So it might just be a quirk of the data somewhat that corner types and border types are kind of skewed a bit, but
yeah.
I remember having to specify for the Homestuck chart which type I would most likely associate like corner or edge types with. And I hate having to do that because I put them there on a reason.
Yeah.
For a reason. I would have
this
not put them on
this is why I prefer the heat map view, because it kind of gives you a better idea of what the distribution actually looks like.
Yeah. It's interestingly lumpy. There's some clear overrepresented spots. And that suggests to me data spoilage. That, like, a couple of them are like, well, this is just wishful thinking.
Yeah. Or this is some kind of default type. Yeah, when I look at the circles one, there's like 3 big red circles in externalist.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is also like just the most represented type. So that's just kind of the chaos of it.
Just occurred to me, I'm wondering if the reason there's not also a spot like this in Quick-Witted is the other 3 center types kind of already took up all the distinct traits as far as stereotypes go. So Quick-Witted is just kind of like a rice cake by comparison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in general, Lex seems to be like the least represented quadrant in this. Like, you can see there's a lot of black spots in that area compared to the other ones.
A lot of holes.
And fewer orange circles, just generally.
Oh yeah, I found it very interesting that on the implant count chart, you can see the diagonal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm not sure why, but it seems that a lot of characters get placed along the diagonal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the like order to chaos is kind of the easiest to grasp.
Yeah.
Subconsciously or otherwise.
The order chaos diagonal and the natural artificial diagonal both have like clear X marks on them.
Yeah.
There's a big thin spot in the direct middle at the top, where it's not empty, but it's thinner there.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a data set problem or what.
Oh, I should type the X-Men since I've watched all those movies in the past few
Great
days.
idea.
Yeah, you should do that.
That would honestly be interesting to see. I don't know where I would put a lot of them.
I probably have to distinguish, maybe, question mark, between the characters from the older one and the newer one.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd have to see.
We did already compliment the compiling effort, but also in the contributions, Chloe typed fucking 426 characters.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did do that.
I'm surprised I've typed 192.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of Star Treks.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's like a whole 100.
I also included your Avatar The Last Airbender typings, even though I know you don't fully agree with them, but figured it's better than nothing at least.
Yeah, I don't remember how much I disagreed. Not that much, I don't think.
I checked a few of them over, and I think I didn't diverge too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
A
Okay.
lot of the ones that I saw seemed pretty good to me.
Wait,
What?
didn't we go over that when we met up?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I
looked over Coy's avatar typings while we were hanging out.
yeah.
Talking about me behind my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
So, dear listeners, if you need any more insight into the sort of obnoxious nerds we are,
Yeah.
hey, are these typings by mutual friend fine?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
this allowed?
We are always like this, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Also,
Yeah, like a whole third of these typings are from
That
you.
sure would be
Yeah.
wild if I eventually come to the States, visit Coin Tarbuck, and Tarbuck just isn't problematic in person.
oh god.
That would be a shock.
Disappointment.
Yeah.
There's a couple people who have stayed here that you could ask as to how like me I always am.
Okay. I will say, there's still a lot of like charts that people have made that I haven't included in this document yet. So there are other people who did also do a lot of typing, but that I haven't entered into this yet. Because I'm not sure how accurate the typings are, and also it is kind of a lot of work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And probably a lot of anime.
Yeah.
The so we keep skipping over a handful of these tabs, like the implant tab, for instance. You want to talk about what's in that tab?
I mean, in this form, it's basically unusable. But I don't know if the way Google Sheets is set up, it allows you to make a copy of this document for you to edit yourself. But what I can do as with editing access is like I can, for example, select only Homestuck characters, and then I have a chart of all the Homestuck characters.
I can see it change in real time. Wow.
Yeah,
But I already made a chart of all the Homestuck characters.
yeah.
I wonder if you could make a drop down for different media on these different things.
What do you mean?
Like on these different tabs. If you then had a drop down menu to select.
I mean, that is a drop. I mean, it is like that is basically what this is.
No, but for like if I just want to see Homestuck, for example, if you added another drop down, they'll let you select that as opposed to all media. I don't know if that's possible.
I can do that here, but like other people can like do that themselves.
You can go if you open this in your own Google Drive. You can hit File, make a copy, and then modify it yourself. That's doable.
Yeah. So then you have all of the options to like select it yourself.
Right. But I'm just, is there a way to do that without
Is there a
way
copying
to
it?
build that in? Yeah.
No, you have to make a copy.
It's not possible in Google Sheets because you would need to make a website or something that accesses this database, but like makes its own chart out of that because
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
If you have it yourself, you can play around with that. Anyways. And then these other ones, the impressionism externality and laterality externality, are kind of just they kind of give you different views of like the imaginary cube.
There's a very clear diagonal line right there.
Where?
Yeah.
Here, let me find it. In the laterality versus externality chart, there's a clear diagonal line where higher laterality forms a diagonal that go high lateral, low externality to low laterality, high externality.
Yeah, that was something that came to mind when I was actually making the second chart. Was like, I was wondering to myself, am I mixing up those two?
Yeah, but that is a tendency, but it's like you obviously have still Ray all the way down there and myself all the way on the other end.
Yeah. I think it's another result of kind of squishing two different ideas into one axis and then unfolding them afterwards.
Yeah. There is also... There's definitely some connections you might be able to make, but they're not super strong in that regard.
I'd like to be able to turn this chart into a heat map and then see what it spits out. Try and identify additional trends, but that would be compressing some data, you know?
Yeah. I don't think we have enough data yet to do that, really. But
yeah, we'd have to go through the chart, and, like all the rest of your data, and mark for external and mark for protean.
Yeah.
Fucking all the rest of them.
Yes. Which is, like, honestly, like, the biggest thing we need is more data for externality and flexibility. Currently we have 43 with the complete typing, which is not enough to really make inferences.
I should get on that.
Yeah.
I think I started to and then didn't finish.
Yeah.
I did it with Lord of the Rings, and that's about it.
I feel like it's pretty easy to type people on the external axis for me, but maybe that's because that's the one that of the two new axes that I actually understand all the way.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to,
you're like all the way on one end of it, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Could be.
Or you're more in the middle on the other.
If you want to go in and like enter more values for the characters you're familiar with, by all means, go ahead. That would be very appreciated.
Yeah, I will see if I think about doing that.
Great.
Before you think about doing that, make sure you edit
editing
that.
the fucking magic.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned earlier the possible connections between lunar sway and externality.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we can look at here.
True.
Yeah, so just looking at this, there does seem to be some clustering.
Prospect. Let's see. Externality.
That does seem to be more prospect and high externality, which is what I would have been expecting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But once again, it's by no means 1-to-1.
Yeah, and that's a trend. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what about like MBTI? Wasn't there a correlation there?
Yeah, I also looked into that. As we can see here with MBTI, there is some correlation between externality and extroversion. But once again, it is not 1-to-1 completely.
Yeah, it seems like the diagonal from low externality to let me use the real words. The internal and the categorical and the diagonal from there to the external and the impressionist has the most extroverted people on it, and it biases slightly in the external direction, and then on the wings on the other diagonal is where most of the introverts are.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm looking at. So this middle diagonal has most of the I'm expecting everybody to look at my mouse on OBS. So highlighting to the viewers, this diagonal right here has most of the extroverts, I think, and it's biased into this part of the chart. And then most of the introverts are over here and over here.
Yeah. But it's definitely noticeable that we have more E's up here and more I's down here.
Yeah.
And the same holds true with socionics. With socionics, it's the last letter that indicates extroversion, introversion.
Okay.
So once again, a lot of I's down here, a lot of E's up there.
The socionics one seems to be a lot more vertically divided, where most of the externals are extroverts and most of the internals are introverts. Is this just highlighting different letters to me, or are some of them marked one way in one and a different way in a different one?
There are some differences, but for the most part, the MBTI and socionics types line up, but there are some characters where it's different.
Okay.
And we can also look at Big Five extroversion, where...
Yeah, there's a lot of social up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking kind of the same on all of these.
So that's that about the questions we had raised earlier regarding correlations. There are definitely correlations between extroversion and lunar sway and externality, but in neither case it's 1-to-1. There is just a correlation. No. Yeah. But then, because one thing people also like to do is try to connect the neurotypes to different types in different systems. So,
oh yeah,
right, this one has MTI and class X on it.
You're looking at the circle chart?
Yeah. There's a new thing that I just opened that
Okay, I see it.
this one has
Oh boy.
Enneagram and zodiac signs.
where all the Leos at?
The zodiac signs are actually kind of useful as like a check for
A baseline for what randomness would look like.
Because they
Hopefully.
should be...
You would be worrying.
Yeah. They should be completely random, pretty much.
Different noise patterns.
And they pretty much are. You know, there are some things that look like they might be correlations, and it kind of gives you a good check on how strong those really are. So now, if we want to look at the Enneagram types, we can kind of check the chart that Exie did and see how much that holds up. So, 1 wing 9, Exie put in bookkeeper, and there is kind of a leaning towards the linear lexical corner, but still pretty distributed.
Yeah, it's vaguely in the order.
Especially
corner.
since Linlex corner is... Oh no, wait. In the general it isn't overpopulated. Never mind.
1 wing 2 seems like very kind of a slight tendency towards lexicality, but
Leans lexical.
not much. 2 wing 1.
Pretty Linlex.
Yeah.
Bit of diagonal.
Yeah.
Still order quadrant with that. Although, like, I'm not really able to follow the names of the Enneagram types.
Oh yeah, same.
I got them. Don't worry.
2 wing 3 is
That's funny.
kind of more towards the impressionistic side. Still more linear.
I'd characterize that as center column, but
Yeah, it's lower center column plus diagonal again.
Yeah. 3 wing 2 also very...
this one looks like it's
over the
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywhere but the middle.
I actually put them in understanding, but yeah, they're very distributed. 3 and 4, you have more towards the lateral end.
No level-headeds or clear-sighteds.
Yeah. 4 and 3, kind of more towards the natural impressionistic side, which
abstract quadrant.
there's also 4 wing 5s. Also kind of similar tendency, but not very strong. Like very all over the place.
I'll just have the axis predictions next to it on screen.
Yeah.
Dear listener, if you want to see that.
Right, and then...
Beloved audience.
5 wing 4.
More networky,
kind of,
but just overall the entire top half of the chart.
Yeah.
There are some, it does look like there's some clear patterns here, but only sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what you would expect from noise.
Yeah.
If you generate noise often enough, especially with such a low data density, there will be patterns occasionally.
This one does seem to have kind of a more clear
surely some of them have patterns. Surely.
Yeah. Now this one is a bit more clear. 5 wing 6 very legs leaning.
Ultra network.
6 wing 5 kind of more grouped towards the bottom.
Normies.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that it might just be that there are real trends in the Enneagram system, and what real trends there are in some of these just don't correlate with the factors that we're trying to plot them against.
Yes, that is probably true. But then 6 wing 7.
That looks pretty all over the place. It's a slight downward bias and a slight central bias.
7 wing 6. Kind of
2 tight clusters.
Crowded around.
Externalists.
And also a lot of them up in B-type, which is interesting. 7 wing 8.
Not bookkeeping.
Not bookkeeping. Yeah. 8 wing 7.
Bit of a
kind of
pure instinct cluster in there.
Yeah, but not very good. So 8 wing 9. Really no strong tendency.
Yeah. It seemed like 4 and 5 had the most going on.
Yeah. 9 wing 8.
Yeah.
Also not very strong. And 9 wing 1.
That one's interesting.
Fairly tight clustering.
Yeah.
Compared to most of what we've seen.
It's in similar places, once again around externals and media kind of.
What that suggests to me is data bias.
Yeah, could well be.
The fact that the same clustering turned up on 2 completely different charts.
Yeah.
Does this mean externalist and new type are like the loudest types?
I think that is kind of the stereotyping, at least.
Yeah.
Which I don't fully agree with. But yeah. Now, with MBTI, there's some things that I think seem to be a bit controversial. So what I've done is I clustered together like the different like sub distinctions where you have like introverted, extroverted, the other ones.
The letters.
Yeah, and immediately people disagreed with that on principle because they think you can't separate those out, and they need to be considered as the types and not the like subcategories, which isn't how MBTI officially works. That's
you have pieces,
but that's like the young fans who hold on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as we can see here, like with regards to this chart, introverted, extroverted, not really a huge tendency.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm flitting back and forth between 2 different levels of zoom.
Okay.
Where I'm looking at your stream, and then I'm also looking at my full screen version of the same chart.
Okay.
To see the different levels of scatter, and where sometimes it seems like a trend is there, but harder to see unless you zoom out. And sometimes it's like there's kind of sort of a trend, but when you zoom in a little bit, it completely disappears.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we are watching my OBS on the official episode, then
yeah,
that's why I keep flitting back and forth between these two.
Okay. Good. So, and then it gets interesting. So,
Sensing. So not that much in the top row.
Yeah, sensing types are more clustered around the linear end. And intuiting...
It's hard to be a top lat sensor.
Yeah.
And then this is like the opposite.
And intuiting very towards the lateral end. And that's like very
That one looks like a real correlation. Like
yes.
That's as strong as I would want to see it, at least.
Yeah.
That's
with thinking, we've got a bit of a lean towards the lexical end.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty even spread.
Yeah, feeling kind of more towards the impressionistic end.
A bit more.
Yeah, that's just right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, judging kind of got more towards the lexical end.
Yeah, there's a judge in everybody.
But not very strong.
Everyone's a critic these days.
Definitely like less strong than the
sensing intuition.
Yeah. Actually, it might actually be pretty comparable between the judging, perceiving, thinking, feeling tendencies.
Yeah, I think judging and perceiving aren't exactly that real, but from what I'm seeing, it seems like judging is correlating with thinking.
Yeah.
And then perceiving is correlating with feeling.
Kind of. I don't know if that's like a thing in MBTI. I don't think it is. But it seems to be showing up here.
You got the data on it, so it must be.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm interested in those functions. Is there much of those?
The dominant functions. I mean, they're basically just like a less broken down version of the individual types. If we want to go through these.
I see. That's, bottom right, bottom left. That's kind of what I'd expect. That one's a bit more all over the place. NI. TI.
Yeah.
So a little more scattered.
So now if we look at the individual types. What?
There's too many types.
Too many types.
Too many types.
A lot of these don't have like super strong correlation.
Yeah, that one's pretty all over the place. This one biases up, and that one biases down.
Because at this point you're stacking like 3 different factors.
With ESTJ, you can kind of see a definite lean towards the linear lexical.
Bookkeepers, we got them.
Oh, shit. Okay. There we go.
So what this is telling me is that some of the types seem to have a bunch of noise in them for MBTI, and other types are like, oh, this is clearly over here. This is clearly over there.
Yeah. Which is the same thing we had with Enneagram, but like...
I think it's a little stronger in this one.
Trend we discovered earlier with much less data.
Yeah.
In another early mapping post.
Whenever there is a correlation in MBTI, it's a lot stronger.
Yeah. Might be.
Man.
We do also have the socionics types, which aren't very different.
That's some strong clustering right there.
Yeah. This one's super distributed.
Man. If our viewers, and they do have to be viewers at this point, are not good at interpreting graphs, this is probably incomprehensible.
It might. Do you think? I'm not sure. Wait, you have to be up there. For the class making stuff, we don't really have enough data to go on.
Yeah, there's like there's like 4 examples at most.
Very few data points. But yeah,
Wait, can you do Sia quickly?
Sia? Sure.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
You should have called it in advance. It would have been way more impressive if you called your prediction and then clicked on Seer.
Isn't it impressive enough that I knew there would be trend? No, I just knew Sia would be high lat.
Okay.
But that's it.
Yeah. Any other ones you want to see?
I'm wondering about the aspects.
I think it will probably be easier to
Probably all over the place.
go over to this chart and just go. Hold on, let me. Yeah. Here you can kind of see an overview of the different classes and aspects.
Whoa, something changed. Okay, it was switching from class to aspect.
Yeah.
Class to aspect.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as impressive as my aspect chart.
Yeah.
But that there I had to be specific about what I was correlating, so not even people. Not even characters.
Yeah. Yeah. You were kind of typing the aspect
Yeah,
itself.
As such. The aspect qua aspect.
Yeah.
If you are triggered by this use of qua, dear audience member, you're alone.
Okay.
Both conceptually and emotionally.
Yeah.
You can also look sway in this.
Oh boy.
I don't think there's.
See, if these were color coded, it would be way easier to look at trends, but color coding them would be a pain.
Yeah.
That's funny. There's like a stack of Durst from in the fascinator. The Durst pile doesn't stop from getting taller.
Durses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they say. You can't stop the dust pile.
Okay, I see a bunch of prospects over. It's hard for me to work out any kind of trend from this because they're labeled and they're not colored.
We can also look at it on the other thing again. Wait, do we not? Did we not add it to this one? I guess we didn't. Oh well. Guess we should probably go back and do that. We can. Hold on. So this is all the Durses.
There's Durst. Yeah, it's kind of all over. Can still see the nerd pole.
And the prospect ones.
Yeah, those are both pretty
very
even spread.
Yeah.
Which is good. I should hope so.
Mhm.
That's weird.
It's not really enough data to really
Yeah.
come to conclusions.
Yeah, not even enough to jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And I did also make like a chart of the distribution where currently mage seems to be the rarest class and air the most common, and light is the rarest aspect and breath the most common on here.
Yeah. I mean, air is the class which lends itself best to protagonists and mage the least.
Yeah.
That's probably what that is.
It will be.
Which that means the air of the air of air. Oh yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Egbert.
Yeah.
Also, all of them CrossFit, so which that is maybe something you could look into further, like the tendency of different prospects towards different sways.
Yeah, but honestly, with 4 as the highest number on that, any trend you identify is noise.
Yeah. That is really like
4 is still very much coincidence territory.
That is definitely another thing where we need more data, because we have like 270 characters with prospecting, and there's how many different types?
288? Kai, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we don't even have like one representative for each on average.
Yeah.
There's 43 per bird, I think. There's some holes.
All right.
It's a lot of information.
That was in depth. I feel pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Do you got anything else you want to hit?
Just calling for people to contribute more data because we definitely need more data and not just like neurotypes like on the normal tribe, but we especially need more of the like rare things to really come to conclusions with regards to this.
More prospective protein typing.
Yeah.
Pro.
Yeah.
Prototyping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get rid of the O, it's just purper.
Purper.
God damn.
Yeah. How long did this take?
3 hours and 17 minutes total.
No, I mean, Chloe, how long did this take to make?
I didn't
Say something impressive. Just wow the audience. You don't know, make something up. Say a number.
I think I started working on this back in August, and well, yeah, I've pretty much been working on it ever since.
I think you got a good deal of it done in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
If all of you were like Chloe and would refuse to sleep since August, we would have solved neurotyping right
now.
Again, Chloe is like several people at once.
Yeah, that's true. We still only have one body and the amount of time of one person to do things with. But yeah, I'm the kind of person who, when there are people going, hey, maybe someone should do this, and nobody's doing it, I'll just go fuck it and do it myself.
Yeah, that sure is also how this podcast came to be.
Yep.
Yeah, so people kept being like, oh, we should do like analysis comparing neurotyping to MBTI and whatever, and people were like, oh, we should make like Trixie in her second video was like, I want to make a huge database of like every character ever and then neurotype, and like 2.5 years later, still nobody had done that. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. It's mostly just a bunch of data entry, which I can just like do while I watch YouTube videos or something. Doesn't take a lot of like...
That sounds like hell.
Basically, if you want things done, you need extemporal proteins to do it.
That might be true. You just need someone with OCD who can't stand when things aren't done. I'm kind of a workaholic.
Yikers.
I mean, this show has been firmly anti-idea guy in the past. Just make things.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the things that should make it.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Do it.
I'm definitely more of a make things person than a come up with things person.
You must get action.
As I said, I've
put your fucking life on the line.
I've never had an original idea in my life. Everything I do is stolen.
Damn.
I
I sort of feel that. I make new things, but I definitely don't fabricate stuff out of thin air.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's real.
Also, like, with regards to because I've kind of become the advocate for a lot of things, and so people assume that I came up with... And no, I didn't. I didn't come up with anything. I literally did not come up with anything. I am just the person who looked at the thing and said, this is good. We should do this, and then nobody did it, and so now I'm the advocate for including externality and changing the names and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've sung the praises of externality on this show quite a lot, but I haven't made a chart, so I guess you're right.
Yeah.
You haven't finished?
Yeah, also haven't edited the video.
To everyone in the audience, I do encourage this particular form of harassment. I consider it purely positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go, do what I say, not what I do as I say, not what I do.
I mean, I know the thing that I'm saying, which is to do, is what I'm saying because of my own frustrations with myself.
Yeah.
It's like
Do what I say, which is to do.
Yeah.
Don't do what I do, which is to say.
do what I say, which is to make me do what I say.
I could do with a little more doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Do you want to hit your
so-
last?
I just want to quickly shout out Shinzo, who is like the only person so far who has actually like commented on this document and helped kind of check things and revise things. I hope maybe after this goes up, more people will contribute, but yeah, so far they're the only one who's really done that, and I think that's good.
Shout out. Shouts out to Shinzo.
Right. So then let's get to the last thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna do the rest. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can talk about that another time, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, this will be Oops All Chloe episode. No, I guess also Koi.
Yeah.
Chloe and Koi episode.
Chloe?
Uranium Clophy.
Neuro Heatmap of me and my alters. Parentheses, I have dissociative identity disorder. End parentheses. By Chloe.
Have I
Heat
opened it?
maps were made for.
You will have to describe it because I do not know everyone's name.
Who are you people?
Yeah. It's a
It's a heat map. It looks like an upwards running Among Us.
Ouroborista.
Moglet.
Immediate regret. And the string of words which just left my mouth.
What?
You did this to yourself.
Describe each person on here. Introduce yourselves.
right. So these are the most prominent members of our system. So we've got myself up in the corner of Neurotype.
The cat ears.
Which is like I'm the core, so I'm like basically the if you remember my one kind of original thought anchor theory, I'm basically the anchor of this heat map kind of. Yeah, and then we've got the kind of most prominent other type aesthetician with multiple people in there. Yeah, and then kind of further out we've got Ari in Fascinator, Livia in Overseer, and then Jay down in Externalist, Lucy over in Analyst, and then Yuki all the way over in Human Computer.
So the immediate question that I have is, how does surely every author also has like a range in their thinking?
Yes.
So there would have to be layered chats, and like, could you as the anchor go all the way over to human calculator without I don't know what the right terminology is.
Without switching. No, I would say I can do most of these. Like I can go all the way to like understanding. But like the thing is, like when it's kind of depending on what a situation requires. Like if there's, for example, if a situation calls for an analyst, it's more likely that Lucy will switch in than that like whoever is currently fronting will like enter that analyst mind state. Yeah. And kind of the closer they are to that, the more likely they are to. So
it's technically possible, but it's not usually what happens.
Yes.
Because it's inefficient. That would just be a better person mode. Okay.
Yes. And that kind of comes down to the difference between kind of simulation and emulation, where like a different alter is emulating that neurotype and like actually like anchored in that type, whereas like if I try to go over there, I'm simulating that type and it's kind of less efficient because it's just an approximation kind of.
Because you're running Mario in Flash.
Yeah.
Like as Starbucks said at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought much about that, but it is pretty interesting the way movement and switching around would go.
Yeah.
Well, I've had little cause to engage with something like this myself, being that I am singular in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that invites the question of what you think of the song Stronger Than You from Steven Universe.
Not familiar with it. Should I quickly listen to it?
I would like that. It's a spoiler for Steven Universe, but I would like your feedback. It's pretty short.
Yeah, we're already over 3 hours in.
Yeah, in for a penny, in for a pounding.
I don't think it will be much longer, but sure.
Okay.
I do feel like if I extend myself to the reaches of my heat map, it's not that it's obviously not an actual switch in the driver's seat happens. It more feels like I'm listening to not spoken, not internal monologue, but to different sorts of thoughts. They're not in a voice, but they have different textures, and I do feel like there are analyst flavored thoughts, and I just could listen to those more.
And then it just kind of like refrains from there. So
okay, so there's definitely stuff in that's relatable. It doesn't seem particularly deep.
Yeah, the whole thing of it probably hits a little better if you know all the context. But
think I know.
You probably know enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like all of that was a joke centered around the line, but I think you're just mad because you're single.
Okay.
Tarbuck joke.
Yep.
Or maybe you're mad because bad.
Maybe you're mad because you're bad. Line good is vastly superior to line bad.
I think there is a tendency among some people to try to invalidate the connections between people in systems, and I think some of that might be a bit of jealousy.
Yeah, that's partly what I was getting at there.
Yeah.
Oro, what were you saying about thoughts and texture?
Moving to the far reaches of the heat map, does obviously not feel like putting someone else in the driver's seat in my case, but it does feel like listening to a different texture of thought. There are not voices in my head, both because that sounds insane and also because it implies being voiced, being spoken internal monologue, which it isn't. But there's still a color, a texture of thoughts. And no matter what they are saying, they have that, and the sort of thoughts I listen to when in those reaches are colored by that area.
Gotcha. So you can really experience the difference in mouth feel.
Yeah. Brain feel. I lick across that grey matter and it tastes horrible. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think I put this on record anywhere, but I think Heatmap type stuff, I think of that as brain feel.
Okay.
Like chart movements and stuff.
Yeah. People only ever talk about brain freeze, but there's a whole spectrum of brain feels. There's brain burn.
Brain burn kind of went away after the mending. That's a Magic the Gathering joke.
Okay.
Brain spice.
God.
All right. Really interesting to see how your alters map onto your heat map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't have a whole lot of notes and feedback and stuff other than that, like, I've known you for a long time and I do not recognize any of these pictures on sight and thus feel like a bad friend.
Yeah.
Have you not voted in the poll? God. Yeah, you are.
I don't really use my Twitter anymore.
Me neither. I just clicked the Discord link.
You should all vote for Alethea.
Yeah, I think I did. Let me double check.
I made that joke earlier, but that's how I do all my voting. I just listen to what people tell me to vote for.
Okay.
This is a joke, dear audience. Inform yourself. You will have democracy's blood on your hands if you do not.
Wow.
Others have way more of it on their hands, but there will be drops.
Okay.
And you will not be able to wash them off.
Yeah, you don't want to have to go wash the driblets off of your hands. The driblets of democracy.
Yeah. No, that would be... No.
Okay. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts.
We'll at the very end, we did manage to get a post done in under an hour.
Wow.
Nice.
We did
With
it.
a whole lot of garbage at the start.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of...
Don't worry, the janitor, me, will clean it up.
Which will be really bad audio content. I don't know how we're gonna make that happen, but it will be really annoying for either me or Coy. Let's see.
Well, probably both, because I'll probably shave a bunch down with the portion that has video, and you'll have to cut the video a bunch to make sure it lines up with what's going on.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun.
Honestly, it's probably more sensible to take frames out of the video because it's not really like anything is moving. I just need different stills from
You
it.
just need to listen for when the frame needs to update, basically.
Oh yeah, I know. I know I did my job. I've done this before.
Backseat editing.
Yeah.
I voted for Lucia.
Nice.
Good.
Dear
Dear listener, go vote for Lucy.
Hey, chat. Did I just call our audience chat?
Oh God.
It's late.
Yeah.
It's late,
Yeah.
gamers.
Yeah. The brain noise.
Now I'm just leaning into it.
Did you ever hear of using chat as gender neutral for
Yeah, I
guys?
think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Tammy adopted that. Tammy now in IRL calls people chat as gender neutral crowd address.
I like that a lot.
Shouts out to Tammy, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts. I feel like this is gonna be annoying to edit, and hopefully at that point plausibly listenable.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
we'll see what you make of this.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, it's terrible to be a podcaster again. But what can you do?
Okay.
As discussed in this very episode, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
And it has to be us, and we're bearing this burden, and yeah, you should be thankful.
All right. Ending sync claps.
Wait,
No,
we got outros.
Are we?
Oh,
Fuck.
right. I haven't done this in a while. Listen, guys.
God, I swear. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. Also, plug your stuff.
God damn it! You distracted me, and now.
Now it's gone. I'm a rascal, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
The downsides of being protean.
For real. Yeah, no. You guys are gonna have to now actually look into of the posts that have accumulated since you last did this.
We've got some strange ones.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see. I hope you actually do make more episodes. Yeah.
So do I.
You people have been posting, and there's things in there worth talking about. But as always, the neurotyping community has not been sending its best.
Except for me, of course.
No, of course.
Yeah.
We only invite the people on who do good.
The good person.
Wasn't there another person you wanted to get on?
Was there?
I thought there was.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
That might have
Who
been
knows?
Magica, and he said hell no. So.
Oh,
Yeah, also I vetoed Magic.
Well,
sad.
yeah, that's what I mean by hell no.
Oh.
Sad.
I think they were.
Oh, I thought Magica also.
I think, well, they were prior. I think they were maybe interested, but I don't know.
That would have been fun to see, though. Maybe incomprehensible.
It's
but
never too late to make enemies, but it is too late to make friends.
sad.
There we go. That's our episode
Sad.
title.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, wasn't the last episode called "It's Never Too Late to
Yes.
Make Enemies"?
Yes, it was.
So this,
Oh.
this is the sequel. It's too late to make friends.
There's an overarching narrative, and if you can't spot it, then that's on you.
Yeah.
We try to make it as obviously as
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The NCU.
Oh God. Yeah. So, plugs.
Plugs.
Yeah.
Plug yourselves.
Everything that I make is defunct, but you can find me at Tarbuck Transom, where I sometimes do videos about historical crafts, and you can find me just talking a lot with my partner, Not a Vampire, on The Arch Plays, a podcast that pretends to be a Let's Play. I have thoughts that are not currently being recorded. I need to record them. I have a need to record all of my thoughts.
Okay.
Do it.
Yes. I also need to live. Most of what I've been doing in the last year and like several years now has been making physical objects because you can sell physical objects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been Oro. You can find me on ouroborista.neocities.org. All my social media and stuff are linked at ouroborista.neocities.org/oro. Since the last time we did this podcast, I wrote a book which you can buy on Amazon.
Wow.
It's called Skyat.
Ah, yeah.
And currently, as alluded to in the intro, I am spending all my time writing a needlessly elaborate Homestuck fanfic called Deicide and Its Consequences. And you should read it. It's really good.
Yes.
It is unnecessarily good.
It is very
Nice.
Because I'm stupidly actually taking this seriously.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate it, even if I haven't read Homestuck.
Is there a way to get your book that doesn't give money to Jeff Bezos?
There is a way to read my book that doesn't give money to Amazon. You can, on ouroborista.neocities.org, click stories, and the very first link just says Sky Out, and there is a for free version of the book to read in your browser.
Perfect.
Nice.
There are like 2 quotation marks missing, which I still haven't fixed, but hopefully you can bear that small downgrade from the print version.
Damn.
Also need to remember to do that.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that we're both on Mastodon now.
Oh yeah, I'm not, but
Urcoy is the only one who's not actually on Mastodon now.
I
don't
have
a reason yet.
We have an account, but we don't use it.
I'm at equestria.social because I am still very into ponies. I do have another account, but like I really like to talk about decapitating fascists a lot, and I don't think that would fly on a German-hosted website. In fact, they explicitly said that they would ban me for that.
I think it'd be fine.
Hate crime, the hate crimers.
Hate crime, the hate crimers.
Yeah.
A vow.
A vow.
I've been Urcoy. You can find me at uraniumcoffee.neocities.org, which is a website I have now.
Yes.
Has links to all my stuff there. And hopefully by the time this is out or close after it, I'll have a new release. Yes, the album is out. It is called
Grotgeluid.
Go listen to it. Perhaps buy it if you wish. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. We write stuff and sometimes photograph stuff. You can find us at Chloe Ari T. That's CHLOE.
There's a link in the description. You don't have to type it, but yeah.
T. On Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, maybe other places. Though we're probably not active on those. And you can find more about us and what we do otherwise at violetheartsis.card.co.
Yes, and you can send them all of your typings of characters. Again, do that,
Yes.
please.
Check out the
link in the
document.
description.
Look at it.
Enter the form, clickety-clack on your keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Help. Do it. It's a good cause.
Help
Do it.
us gather more data.
data.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do a little data entry.
That's our show.
Hell yeah.
Which is always exactly 90 minutes long and comes out once a week.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe it's been a whole month since the last episode.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We will continue to happen if we so deserve.
Yes.
They keep happening.
Really do be happening.
Warned you about lines, bro.
3, 2.
What?
I was about to clap us out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hell yeah.